back to another episode of Unqualified, the podcast. I'm here, it's not a co-host because there's three of us, I don't know. Hadassah, if you're listening to us for the first time. And then in front of me are Shaya
Hi.
and Day.
Hello.
And you cannot see me on the YouTube right now because our producer is not here. So
Boo.
I am here, you just cannot see me.
He's
I'm gonna
getting
be
his
the
tires
sound.
fixed.
I'm gonna be the soundboard for today.
Yeah.
You need to leave.
You need to leave.
But today is a very fun episode because we are talking about
That was
villains.
Villain.
Villains in
Oh,
games. Villains in
I forgot
movies.
about the games.
Villains in TVs. And that's pretty much it. Just
I'm finna get in
villains,
trouble,
because
y'all.
We love a good baddie.
You're supposed to be our
Bad.
game person.
I am, and I totally forgot that villains exist in games. Cause I was thinking so hard about movies and TV shows. I'm not gonna lie. But I have a couple off riff.
Now, I just want to start off by saying I'm really bad at like remembering villain names. But once you guys start going, I can.
If you've listened to any of our episodes, one thing you know is that we don't remember names. We really just be like, who's the man and the girl with the guy?
That girl and that boy
Mhm.
in that one movie, that one time in like 2 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
We're descriptive.
but
You'll
we're gonna
get
be
it.
talking about it
You'll get
today. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy.
Who wants to start us?
How should we?
I got a couple.
I think we should start off with what makes a good villain. Like, what is definitionally?
Back to what
That's
I
not a
said
word.
last.
What is a good
How do you
villain?
define?
How do you define a
A
villain?
good
Because there's
villain?
antagonist and then there's villain.
Back to what I was saying the last episode. If I'm sitting there like, I need this person to die, that's a good villain to me. If I'm waiting at the end for them to be like, that's a good villain. Because you made me hate you.
Really?
Truly. I feel like you can feel sad for an antagonist.
Yeah.
And I don't want to feel
Yeah.
sad for a villain.
I think
A good
that
anti-hero.
a character that really just makes me hate them, have a lot of vitriol in my heart. I hate that actually. I don't. I never want to be so angry at a character that I'm actively rooting on their demise. Like that's not.
I be praying on it.
That's not what I'm here
It
for.
really is a good villain because, well, okay, in our previous, I don't know what episode that was. I don't know if it's
The last
before
one.
this.
Stuff
gonna
is
be the
coming
last
out.
one.
What were you talking about?
We were talking about pet peeves.
Okay,
Pet
in
peeves
our
is the
pet
episode
peeves
before this, y'all.
we kind of hinted on villains a little bit, and I was talking about how I like three-dimensional villains.
Yeah.
Which kind of just goes into like we talked about anti-heroes, which I don't know if they count as villains.
I don't think
Might
so.
just be more of an antagonist.
I think to me a villain is someone who is like not opposing our hero, but just like is doing things for the benefit of themselves and only themselves.
Okay.
And that happens to go against our main character, where it's like I'm trying to like Thanos.
Frenemies.
No. like Thanos, he's like, okay, I want to wipe out half the population, and he's saying it's because it's for the greater good. But in reality, it's for himself and his own trauma and his own yada yada yada. No one asked you to do that.
Very selfish.
That's
Yes.
what nobody asked
Nobody
you to
asked
do
you
that.
to
I
do
will
that.
say, like, I love a good villain that, shoot, what was I gonna say? I actually don't remember what I was gonna say.
Oh my
You're good.
gosh.
Yeah, I think we have to be very clear on villain versus antagonist because they're not always the same.
Sorry.
Go for it. Go off.
When they're like unique and not just like I want to blow up the world and that's it. You know?
Yeah.
When there's like something else they want to
There's a
do.
little
Like
juice.
there's like a I don't know.
But you were saying, Dave was saying last week that you don't like that. Like you want to just blow up the world kind of villain.
It depends. I feel like if you spend too much time focusing, like I really hate the I'm a good person that has to make bad choices villain. Like that
No,
pisses me
that's more of
off
like an
so
anti-hero. I
bad.
feel like,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But
Like
then they try to
Deadpool.
categorize. Well,
Is he
that's
an
different
anti-hero?
though. Yeah, but like you see how the way Deadpool acts.
Mm-hmm.
Deadpool isn't like even though he's the anti-hero, he's still the protagonist of his story. When it's the actual villain, it's like that. That's when I'm like, I need you to don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
That
Don't do
makes
that.
sense. Also, I think it's a funny coincidence that you're wearing the My Hero Academia shirt today. Because hero versus.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Oh, look at me, y'all. I actually put some thought and effort in today.
Slay.
Okay,
Um,
so do we want to start?
Yeah.
let's,
Who wants to
talk-
go first?
I'll go.
Go for it.
Okay,
Go
so
for it.
when I was trying to rack my brain of villains, I looked up a list of villains. And one that I came to mind initially was Scar.
From
Okay.
I was about to say from
Lion King.
Mufasa.
From Lion
Lion
King.
Okay.
Scar
He's
was
not one of my favorites, I'd say.
Scar is
but
definitely
he's
one
a
of
good
the ones
villain.
that I was like, I want you to die so bad.
Thank you. That's
So
what I'm
bad.
saying. Yeah.
Which is why
No
I feel
redeeming
like
quality.
He was a good villain.
Yeah.
He was a solid
No
villain.
redeeming. The fact that he murked his brother, though, like Disney was on demon time with that one. Like that did not need to happen.
He
Really.
literally straight up brutally murdered his own brother,
And kept it pushing.
gaslit his child, and was like, "You need to get out of here because this was all your fault." Like he was doing the physical games, the mental games, the emotional games.
He was playing the
knew what he
long
was
game
doing.
too. Because even
Yeah.
in the second one, all the problems came back from Scar. Like even though he was dead, he was almost still the main antagonist of the second movie.
And you know what's interesting about Scar as a character is that he's another one who like he justifies his own motivations and being like, well, the hyenas, the lions don't care about the hyenas. They're not being looked after.
Right.
They're going hungry. So he's like, if I become king, the hyenas, you're gonna get special treatment, all that shit. But in reality, when he became king, now everyone's hungry. So like he's another one who's like, no, I'm doing. Guys, trust me. I know what I'm doing. I know what I have to do.
A
And then when he
liar,
actually gets there, it's like
gaslighter.
gaslighting.
Yeah.
So
Scar's a
good.
good
He knew
one.
what he was doing.
Also,
so-
my favorite Disney villain song, "Be Prepared." Is
Be
such
Prepared
a
was
banger.
amazing.
You know they like modeled that
After the
sequence after
Nazis.
Nazis. Yeah.
Well,
Yes.
no.
Because
Mhm.
there's that part where
The
they're
hyenas,
marching.
They're marching.
Yes.
Oh gosh, that's
There's so much symbolism
terrible.
in that movie. It's so good.
Yeah. Careful.
I love
That's
Lion
terrible.
King.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
I love
Lion
Lion
King's a great
King.
movie.
So good.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
One of the first thought things that came to mind when I thought about villains and villains that I love to hate. I don't know if you guys know the Injustice games in comics, but Superman in that is the villain.
Yeah.
He is the
He's
villain
on demon
of that.
energy.
Very much so. So what?
For no reason. I
No.
don't. Well, it depends though, because I'm like, I don't know. I find that
Well, his wife and baby were brutally murdered by him.
they were.
He did it himself.
Yeah, but basically, like, Joker, like, threw some shit at him to make him hallucinate. And he thought it was, like, the Joker that he was, like, punching in space. Turns
Yeah.
out it was his wife and unborn child.
Yeah.
And so that sent him into a little bit of a spiral. He's like, I'm shutting all this shit down.
And,
Everyone
in
in the
that
world.
case, he is right, because, like, all that letting the villain go be like, I'll get you another day. It's
Yeah.
such a bad, like, oh, I hate that so bad. But I feel like he was tripping a little bit. That was the one time I
Yeah.
saw him, and I'm like, oh, he tripping. Like,
Very much so.
like, usually you could just be like, I'm going to watch this from afar. But this was the one time I was like, what is he doing?
But
Like, why are
he
you
was
killing
good,
your friends?
Because he didn't let no one slide.
Let
Anyone
nobody.
say a peep against him, he's dead immediately. Dead.
I mean,
What was
honestly,
Expedition.
I kind of like,
Sorry, keep going. I'm thinking
I
of
kind of
something.
like, well, I've never, it's a game.
Yeah.
Game comic, yeah.
Okay, I've never, like, played it or,
You
like,
should.
read
They're fun.
it, but
I think I got
like,
it.
thinking about Superman as, like, a villain,
It's fun.
I honestly kind of like it better than him being a hero. Like,
He's a
I'm
good
not gonna
villain.
lie, I don't really like Superman.
That's
that
okay.
much.
They're finna
But,
kill
like-
you.
Boring.
My bad, my bad.
Superman is
my
kind of
bad.
boring.
But like with all those powers, he should be a villain.
He's
But
a
that's-
great villain
and
because
that's
he is
anyway,
so
like, so
powerful.
fucking-
It depends on who the protagonist, though.
Well,
Like,
Batman's
if
the
it's-
protagonist.
Yeah,
of
and that
one.
works. But if it was
Mhm.
some random dude on the street, I do not want to watch
But
that.
it's good because they have that history, like in the story of
Right.
like
I
they
love Batman
were
versus. Okay, well, like not the movie, but like,
okay
in general,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
pairing them versus.
because they were like homies back in the day.
Yeah,
so
they
Batman's like,
are.
dude, what the hell is you doing? Like, let's talk
I
this
do.
out.
I
Let's
like
work this
Batman more
out.
than Superman.
Yeah, I think
That's fair.
That's fair.
I was about to say, yeah, but there was that one line he said. I think it was Harley. He was like, you want to hear a joke, Harley? She was like, here we go. And he was like, Superman versus Harley Quinn. Because, like, they were, during the game, you do the little matchups, like, where you're fighting against each
Mhm.
other. And he said that to her. I was like, ooh, he tripping. He was tripping in that game for real, for real. I
Didn't he,
get
like,
it.
Decapitate Shazam at some point. Like
I
he was
think so.
really.
That's
going
what I'm
to
saying. Like, it wasn't like it was
Dang.
sweet. It wasn't like it was sweet. Like,
murdered
he was,
Dick Grayson. Like he was going
Yes.
in. He was
didn't care.
done. He
Didn't
was
leave
like,
nobody
he was
behind.
done. So that's one of my
Mhm.
favorites, and I think they should bring that story to the big screen
I think,
because I think it'd be
hasn't
really.
it been a cartoon?
Yeah, but like.
Oh, you mean like you
You
want to
mean, like,
see it?
movies.
For
Yeah,
real,
for real.
I don't. They don't have the balls. I triple dog dare you. You don't.
I feel like
have the
Henry Cavill
guts.
would like kill the
Well,
evil Superman.
too
even
late.
though he's no longer Superman, but he would have killed evil
He would've
Superman.
made
Maybe.
it up.
Yeah.
Speaking of DC villains, though, you already mentioned like Harley Quinn.
Her.
How do we feel about
Her
Harley
toxic.
Quinn?
Oh, Harley Quinn. I love Harley. I don't know if she's a villain though. Is she? Well,
I don't think so.
I mean, kind of.
she is. Yeah. But she's like a villain that I like. Like I love her.
Yeah.
I'm like kind of rooting for her.
I
Throughout.
know. I mean, she has her moments, but
Yeah.
other times, I mean, like she's had a real big redemption arc in the past.
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
She's
20.
definitely turned more. Like,
And-
On the hero
And it's
side.
definitely because the whole reason she was a villain is because he was abusing her.
Yeah.
So like, I feel like they're trying to be like, oh, we was stripping in them issues, like our bad.
Yeah,
And
I
they're
think
trying to rectify
all her
it.
villain things came from the fact that she was like
Yes.
so buddy with Joker, and once she
Yes.
kind of was like to
Mm-mm.
that,
She
Done with
immediately
you.
was
Toxic.
like,
she was
maybe
like,
I
you
was
know what?
tripping.
Maybe I'll just chill. Maybe I'll
Honestly,
just
good
chill
for
out.
her. Good for her.
Mhm. Yeah.
Good
Speaking
for
of though, the Joker.
The Joker, the most infamous villain in all the villaindom, the Joker. I like the Joker.
Joker.
I like the
Okay.
Joker.
I like him because he's unique.
Unique.
I
Oh my
think.
god.
Every time. Another like comics thing. There's this cartoon movie. It's called Under the Red Hood, and it's about Jason Todd's Robin. And basically, like the Joker kidnapped him, beat the hell out of him with a crowbar,
him
just
up.
like pa 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 pa
He's so
over it,
ruthless.
over it. Really, like that scene was gruesome. Even as a
Yeah.
cartoon, I was like, oh my god. And then like killed him, but he was still alive. And it basically
I don't
gets.
think he killed him.
He killed him.
Yeah,
but
and
he
then
came
they-
back. Oh no, yeah,
well,
they
you
put him
know,
in that pit.
all the Batman people come back to life.
Yeah. But it basically
What's his
deals with
name?
like Robin was pissed off because he was like, if you would have just killed the Joker when I first said to kill the Joker,
I
this
would
shit
be
wouldn't have
dead.
happened.
And he's right.
And he's
He's
kind of
right.
right.
They,
He's
they
kind of
like
right.
never like killed him for real.
No.
Yeah,
Like,
Batman don't.
I'll come back next time.
Well,
like,
Red Hood used to be putting bullets in their schools and
Yeah,
kept
and
it
I'm-
pushing. That's why
I'm-
he's my favorite. I'm like, just kill him. Like, I really don't need you to justify it. Like, just kill him.
Just kill him.
Just
Take
kill
him
him. What are we
Take him
doing?
out.
out. Yeah, Batman's always about that. I'm not gonna go kill him.
You stupid.
I'm not gonna kill him. I'm not gonna
Like,
kill
why
I
are we
wish
playing this
Kamal
cat and
was
mouse
here.
game? I
I wish
know.
Kamal was
Yeah.
here.
I'm not gonna kill him.
He's
I'm
gonna
not
bring it
kill
back
him.
up. But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But Joker is great. We were talking about this in our last episode about the movie with Joaquin Phoenix, and how I did not enjoy it.
I love it.
I did not love that
I love that movie.
I've never seen that movie. Let me keep it
What?
100%. I just know what happens in it. Yeah. I really didn't have no
We
It
live
is
in a
like-
society.
It's like slightly disturbing, to be honest.
It
Like,
is, yeah.
It's a lot. It's like after I watched it, I was like, I can't watch that again.
I didn't want to go outside. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna stick in my house
Uh,
for a little bit.
yeah,
after
Because
this.
it's real.
It's heavy.
It's
pretty
heavy.
heavy.
It's
But it
real.
was a good movie, in my opinion.
We live in a society.
You're so stupid.
But I liked it because,
Because we
like,
live in a society.
it was so. I mean, this is kind of what I said in the last episode, but like, there's like complexities. It's like I'm not rooting him for. Oh God, cannot speak.
Rewind.
I
Rewind.
I can't.
Sorry, keep going. Keep going.
Angelica was the villain of Hamilton.
Oh
No, she wasn't.
No.
no, I know she wasn't.
Okay. Yeah, we were just like.
But we need a Hamilton episode.
We're villains right now. We're
Fair,
villains
fair.
right now.
What was I even saying?
You were talking
it's
about
complex because
Joker.
obviously, like, I'm not rooting for him, but I'm also like, dang, like he went through it.
He was going through it.
like it does not justify his actions.
No,
but-
and I do like the in-depth look they take into his mental health for real, because I don't think we've had any. Like, we always just start with the Joker and he's crazy and we go from there, but
yeah,
we
but
don't
it's
really
like, why
get
is he mentally
the
off?
the history
I
behind
think
his
it's
mental
sometimes he
illness.
just
Sometimes he
That's
just
it.
is right.
like, and that's literally the writing is just
Yeah.
like sometimes he falls into a thing of acid, and that's why his skin is so white. Sometimes he just crazy. Like
Sometimes bitches just crazy. Sometimes bitches are just
Yeah.
crazy.
I like the
It's
Joker.
okay.
I think the Joker's fun,
The Joker is fun. He is fun.
and he's a good pairing with Batman. So.
When he
yeah, that's what it really
when
is.
he
It's their
shot
dynamic.
Barbara Gordon in the
That was
in
kinda
the
funny.
spine.
That was kind of funny.
Funny.
Strictly because of like I don't know. My bad. That wasn't funny. Sorry, Barbara. We'll keep it pushing.
He shot her in the spine.
Cause
It was just
I
like
think it's just like yeah, and I mean like he knocked on her door. She answered just like I was like wait a minute. And like the fact that nobody was just like, we need to go get ours back in black. Nobody be spinning the block. None of the Batman people be spinning the block. If I was there, I'd be like, y'all really just gonna let her shoot me and get away with it? Like, and did. We'd have been there boxing. I'm like, oh no way. But I don't know. I feel like, and I never remember his name, but from Princess and the Frog. That as a kid,
the Shadow Man,
terrified me.
What a villain!
That's a good villain. Another good villain banger. I got friends on the other side.
Oh my gosh!
No, because I really was like so annoyed by him. I was like,
I was terrified.
Like,
he was doing a lot, and I feel like it's because of the magic element too, where it was like you definitely were like, oh.
And it was just cool to see because it was like, it was just so cool.
I love him in Princess and the Frog. Ooh.
Anyway, there's stuff going down in Atlanta. Anyways,
yes.
Yeah, but he's a good one.
I love him.
Disney knows how to make a good
They
villain.
do.
Cruella was out there skinning dogs
for no reason.
I love Cruella.
That terrified me.
Did you guys watch the
Emma
Stone movie?
I did, yeah. I liked it. The part where she like used pants as a parachute was like cheesy, but I did enjoy the movie overall.
Like Disney makes
costume design
like,
in that chef's kiss. They killed that.
Fear and like hate so badly because they're like, what are you doing?
No ounce of me like feeling bad for them.
No,
I'm trying to think of any villains. Well, like recent Disney, and people were talking about this online. You guys all seen Encanto, right?
I love Encanto.
Yeah.
But people are like, Abuela is the villain of that movie, and I'm like, no,
I don't think so.
Incorrect. She's not.
No,
she is not.
No, she's not.
I don't think there is a real.
There is a villain.
Generational trauma is the villain of that movie.
I was gonna say that it just has an antagonist.
Yeah,
and that's different than the villain whole aspect. I don't think there's.
I don't think Disney does like big villains though anymore in recent times. I'm trying to.
Recent, right?
I don't think so.
No.
Well, I'm saying that like I don't watch every single.
Because there was no villain in Soul, was there?
I don't believe so. Not in Turning Red either. But I think like I said, it works. I just think it needs to be either or. Because when you try to do both, that's when things get complicated. I'm like, this ain't no villain, and it's barely a antagonist. Yeah, I'm like, this doesn't work.
I just thought about Incredibles.
Oh, that's a good one.
The fucking child.
With his like red.
What is his name?
Syndrome. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good movie. I love that movie. When he kidnapped that baby.
He was insane. Just because he didn't like get an autograph or something, he was like, you know what? You and me, permanent beef. Permanent beef.
Oh my gosh, that was
a
so
fun
good.
Villain, I feel
He was silly. He was in a silly, goofy mood.
I'm
trying to think.
This villain is one that terrified me as a little girl. I should have been watching the show. All these shows I watched when I was a little girl said something about me. But on Netflix, Disney and their little Netflix Marvel shows, Jessica Jones, the villain.
Oh, David Tennant
of that show.
I never watched it, but I've heard about him.
My gosh, I'm gonna spoil it. That man was crazy. The fact that he was able to mind control her, make her think that she was in love with him. Like, made up this fake, like, he was Wanda before there was a Wanda. Truly. Like, he made her kill people for him. He kept her, like, mind controlled for years. And when she finally broke free, was still terrorizing her, like, killing people that she loved. And then at the end, that was one villain. She snapped his neck and kept it pushing. She immediately walked away. And I was like, that's how you make a good villain. Because I was sitting there, I was like, you should have did this 10 episodes. You should have snapped his neck. First episode, I was feeling it. I was like, oh my gosh. That was a terrifying villain. And it was terrifying because he meant what he meant. There was no sadness to it. He was out here killing people, mind controlling people. Yeah, that was Wanda before that was
I still gotta watch all the Netflix shows eventually.
That one was
Netflix Marvel ones.
Yeah, that one had the best villain, I think. Even though there was only one season, that one had the best villain. He was on demon energy, truly.
Demon energy.
He was Wanda before.
I feel like while we're on like, no, actually we're not on that. Take that back. I feel like we have to talk about one of the most iconic, talked about really legendary villains in all of cinema that's ever been created,
I'm
and that
fucking
is
not gonna know.
Sharpay Evans from the High School Musical series.
That is not what
That is not a villain. I will always be on Sharpay's side.
Because she was right.
Be
I
on
love
Sharpay's
her.
side.
Sharpay was right.
How
Honestly,
you mad that someone's
She's
trying to get
more
you
of
a
like an
scholarship?
antagonist,
honestly, the
like.
true
She's not
villain
even the
of that series
antagonist.
is Gabriella.
Like
She's so annoying.
Gabriella
But
was
like-
the worst.
how you mad that somebody's trying to get your boyfriend a scholarship so he can go to school for free? Like, whoa, like maybe you could say it like she was trying to crush on him or whatever, but I'm like, the fact that you mad that your boyfriend's sitting out here trying to like network so he can go
Yeah.
to school for free.
I honestly think the only movie where she was actually like doing some shady shit was in High School Musical 2 when she was like, I don't know, she was like, I'm gonna be the lead singer with you and
Right.
na.
But
all
otherwise,
that
it's
stuff.
literally like she was just trying to be.
She was
the
just
lead
trying to
singer.
literally just
She was just living her life.
accomplish her dreams,
Literally.
and Gabriella
Right.
was like, but I
I gotta go,
but I want to sing, but I want to sing.
That was crazy. I don't know. I love Sharpay.
I love the
love
way they
Sharpay.
crafted her as like
True.
kind of the mean girl aesthetic, but like
the pink.
something about her was just so like you can't help but kind of root for her.
I
Like she
know,
has
yeah.
just such like an iconic
It's out with
energy.
the old and
in with the new.
I love Sharpay. I love
She
Sharpay.
had some of the best songs.
She
so.
did.
She really did. I Want It All. That's
Want It All.
production.
That is a phenomenal
My
song.
favorite was
oh my
always Bop to
gosh.
the Top. I love
Bop,
Bop.
bop, bop, bop to the top.
It was so funny. Oh, what was it? Status Quo. She was hilarious. She was like,
This is not what I want.
I know. I was like,
No,
No, she's iconic.
she is
Wow.
iconic.
She
I
really
love you,
is.
Sharpay.
That
was a good
that
one.
like kind of I love that genre of like mean girl antagonists of like Sharpay, Regina George, characters like that
yeah.
are so much fun because
'Cause
they're
they're funny.
You like love to hate them.
exactly
so
Like,
funny.
like
yeah.
Regina George is problematic. She's got some
She
issues.
is, but
but I
love
still
her.
love her.
her.
That is the ugliest effing skirt I've ever seen in my life. Like she is just ruthless.
I love it. I love
Oh
it.
my gosh. Ruthless.
Okay,
That was
what
a
else?
normal
What
voice.
else?
I'll speak about. I don't know if this is the most iconic villain. There's two that come to mind, but Sephiroth from Final Fantasy VII. If you know the song, truly, if you've ever played that game, that man has stuck with you for years. Cause like he be jump scared
Isn't
a little
he,
bit.
like sexy.
Yeah, he is very sexy.
No. What does he look like?
Oh,
What
but
does
this
he
one,
look
this
like?
one I can defend with my life.
is he-
Look it up.
what's his name?
Sephiroth. Sephiroth. Just look up Final Fantasy VII. His name. Well, look up Final Fantasy VII. Then type in S. He
Let's
should probably
see.
come up.
Cause y'all, if you guys don't
Hey,
know,
listen.
about
No,
our
no, no, no,
Bowser
no, 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 no.
We're moving on. We're moving on.
We're moving on.
Bowser is a
But
great villain as
Sephiroth-
well, though.
Yeah, I was gonna break him up. I was like, it's either Sephiroth or it's Bowser because
he has some nice hair.
he do. There's some inches, truly.
Bundles.
But he is so good at
No,
like
cause why is he
truly
looking
being-
at me like that?
He's terrifying. He's
Why is he
when I tell
looking
you
at me
he
like
jump
that?
scares you, you'll hear ding ding ding, and that's the start of his song, and then he comes out of nowhere, and you're just in a
Is it
battle.
song?
Yeah, he does. It's one of the
That's
most
a slay.
iconic ones. Like, yeah, and like people, there was a reaction video of people hearing his song and just like freezing up in fear, cause like he is so scary. He kills one of the main characters. Just I can't remember why, but literally he in the most cinematic way possible. He drops down from like a glass ceiling. He has like this long ass sword and stabs her middle of her chest and keeps it pushing. Like didn't even. It's like okay,
That's sexy.
it is.
Mhm.
But like I said, and like he's a villain. Like he's cute or whatever. And like they give him a backstory, like a little like, oh, this is why he's like this. But you still are kind of like, like he is terrifying. I love Sephiroth. I love Sephiroth. And then of course Bowser. We won't talk about this one too long because me and Shai get booed out the building every single time we bring this up. We're just talking about him being a villain.
What we said previously, which
We
I still
saw y'all's
stand
comments
by.
on the TikTok.
He is a good villain.
He's a good villain. Kidnapping your enemy's girl over and over again, like that's move. That's like a logical.
Was he kidnapping her or was she?
That
I'd have been- I'd have been
said we
going.
didn't want to talk about it. Look,
I'd have been going.
here's the thing. I can say you can only be kidnapped on accident so many times
She was like,
before you start
"Yeah,
going back for
I'm being
seconds.
kidnapped."
Stupid. Oh my god.
Mario was just wasn't giving her what she
wasn't-
needed.
He
No,
wasn't understanding
and
the
Bowser
message.
was? No.
You don't know what they was getting up
I
to
don't
in that
wanna know, I don't
castle.
wanna know.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. Okay,
He
but
had where'd all the Kims come from? He got a lot of kids. Where'd they all come from?
He's so stupid.
Where they all come from?
Anyway, what's another villain?
Oh my gosh.
Let's talk
What's
about
another
Ursula.
Oh,
I
yes,
love
the poor
Ursula.
unfortunate soul.
Ursula. Yeah.
That she was just being petty, honestly, though.
Truly?
She was just being petty. She was
Truly?
like, I want to sing better. So,
But you know
give
what?
me your shit.
Like,
Imagine.
it's
Like,
so funny because like the book, I think of the Little Mermaid, kind of explains like her whole backstory because her and Triton are brother and sisters.
Oh.
For
Yeah, like there's a
so
whole
that's
like book
her
lore.
niece.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's
there's, like,
even
a
more petty.
whole- There's a whole book lore of like Ursula. Was she adopted or something?
Oh my
Maybe.
gosh.
But she wanted to do something different than Triton. I can't remember who cursed. I think it was either Triton or her father, and they banished her. And then like that kind of is like, that's what I'm saying. Like there's a whole lore on that book, but like if you were just looking at the movie, you would be like, yeah, I need her gone.
Yeah.
That's so. The end of that movie is so wild because Eric
When
really
she spears
stabs her with a
boat.
with a boat, like
Like,
just a full on
whoa.
ship.
Stab somebody with a
Stabs her with a boat. That sequence is insane. It's kind of one of my favorite like
so
like
wild.
action scenes in animated Disney movies because it's
Yeah, there's a lot
wild.
going on.
She's like 100 feet tall.
Disney
He
has
stabs
so,
her with a boat.
Disney has so many good villains because I was thinking about Tarzan and all the rest of Hunchback of Notre.
Oh,
Oh.
the mustache man.
Yeah,
The mustache.
because he was like a very realistic villain, a white man going to tear up
Yeah.
a jungle,
Yeah.
and still.
Yeah. I love Hunchback
kill.
of Notre Dame though.
Yeah.
Who's
I
the
don't know if
villain in
I've
that
ever
one
seen
again?
it.
It's so good.
Nosferatu.
Ooh.
I just said I never
I
seen
had it on
in-
VHS. No, literally, and then had the
And
name
then
immediately.
Oh my gosh!
things sometimes.
I don't know.
What
There's
else
so many good ones from Disney. I'm trying to remember.
Who's the villain in Hercules?
Oh,
Hades.
Hades. Another
Oh, so
sexy
good.
villain.
He's like blue with the blue
Stupid.
smoke coming out, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I love
It's
him.
You know what villain I like?
You know what?
Emperor's New Groove.
Oh, Yuma.
The llama? Oh, Yzma.
Yzma.
I like
What
her.
about that? What about the llama is the villain? Let's go in depth about
No,
that.
he is the llama, and he's
He is
honestly
the
kind of the villain. Like
He do be tripping.
he be
No,
fucking up a
yeah.
lot,
No,
and I get where
yes.
Yzma's coming from.
She like I'm so.
I be terrified of him
Pull the
too.
lever, Crow.
Or the never crunk.
Who
She's
else
a
is there?
good one.
Also, guys, our producer's here.
Dan, you can see him.
No, I heard him.
Shit.
I don't
Are
think
you
you
lying?
did.
I think I did.
Is he here? Come on.
Hello.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
that's right. Our producer's here.
I am indeed here.
How's your tire?
It's $140 new.
Guys, we're gonna put our cash
The
up
real
in the
villain
bio.
is-
please.
The real
villain
villain
is
is Atlanta
Society.
The Atlanta streets.
Come on.
Anyways.
What's your favorite villain? Even though I think I already know. Who's your favorite villain? Come on.
Streets. So, favorite? Dang, you did not set this mic up right.
And did it.
Oop. We'll come back. We'll come back. We'll
Come
come back.
back.
Let me see. I'm trying to remember. I don't know. One that was
I feel
kind of
like there's some
tripping.
iconic
this
ones we
villain.
haven't talked about.
It depends
The
on what
man
you.
who shot Bambi.
Turn the mic off.
Mute yourself, please. Right, fiddle with your mic.
Whoops, wrong channel muted.
The one who killed
the man who shot Bambi's mom.
There's so many like.
Let me see.
I guess that is
Iconic
the-
villain.
Yeah, that's the villain of
movie.
Bambi.
Kylo Ren.
From Star Wars? I know Star Wars.
Why did you bring that one up and we didn't bring up
Darth
Darth
Vader.
Vader first? What's
'Cause
going on?
It was on the list. It's
So
the
let's
first one
talk
on the
about
list.
Darth Vader
Darth
first.
Vader. I love Darth
Shoot,
Vader.
I did
actually.
too. Something is so
That's-
iconic about him being like,
Sexy.
I am your.
I'm gonna make a list of sexy villains, and Darth Vader is one of them. The voice?
James Earl Jones.
Exactly. That's why if you think
Mufasa?
Mufasa's voice is good, Darth Vader also has a good voice. Kamal's the only one who supports me here.
Now,
Oh,
anyways.
what? Come on, do you agree with her, or did you just tell her
I'm
who
sa-
the?
Yeah, all I said was
Yes.
who the actor was.
No, because
No,
like
I'm
that's
not,
not
I'm not
enough.
gonna judge you.
Not only
Exactly.
that,
But-
but
James Earl Jones has a good voice.
he does, but you can barely hear his original voice. It has a robotic tense
Yeah,
to
most
it.
of it's like.
Yes, it
No,
does.
no,
hear it.
it's
You
all
can still
it's
hear
all
it.
him.
No,
You can still hear it.
You
It's
can
all-
still hear him.
No, it's
But
all him.
It doesn't sound like it.
In the old ones, it's all him.
Okay, well
They
maybe in
didn't
the
have
old
that
ones.
technology back. in
I'm
the
thinking
day
about
to make
the-
voices.
So his dad was just black.
No, they never took off the
No,
helmet.
the
Well, I
actor's
know
the
that,
actor's
but,
a
like-
white guy.
Yeah, but Darth Vader
Oh.
had it was a black
Okay.
man voice.
No, yeah. So like.
Yeah, black
Have-
man voiced him.
Have you guys seen the like unedited version where the actor actually was doing the lines?
I've never seen a
It's
Star
so
Wars
weird. He's like,
fully all the way
Luke,
through.
I'm your
so.
father.
Not the oof, I'm your
Imagine.
father.
I'm your father.
Oh yeah, but I love Darth
Goofy.
Vader.
Darth Vader
He's
is
just
great.
like good.
Goofy.
Like he is a villain.
Yes.
He's a villain.
The I
want
am
a
your
lightsaber.
father. Yeah.
That's crazy. That's a big ass plot twist.
That
like,
is.
the villain of the whole series is actually your papa.
I'm trying to
What a
figure out
twist.
whoever was in their writing booth. It was like I remember.
Was it George Lucas who wrote
I
it?
think so. Mark, the man who did Luke Skywalker, was talking about how he was like one of 3 people who knew about it, and that's another reason why it was iconic. There was nothing to spoil
The
it.
actors did they know? Or was it like
Only one knew.
Okay.
It was
I
only
love when
Luke
they do that,
Skywalker.
like, 'cause
Yeah.
It's a natural reaction.
Right, and it builds it up nice because there was only 2 people in that scene. I think it was Luke and then Darth Vader, and so like there was no reason for anybody else
I
to know.
wish I could
But
have been there and
but
watched it the first time.
honestly, like that must have been huge back then. Like, imagine if
Oh,
there was
really?
Twitter back then with that dropped. Like, did y'all see spoilers! Oh my gosh! But
I
that's
love
another thing. Like
that.
there was nothing to spoil it.
Yeah.
You just went to the movies and you saw that. I'd have been shaking. I'd have been like, oh
my
gosh. That is how you do a villain
Yeah.
plot twist. That was amazing.
Another iconic one that I just remembered is Voldemort.
Ah,
He who shall not be named.
He's one of my least
please.
favorites.
having beef with a child is
That's
crazy.
crazy.
Because like, be for real.
Be so
be
for real.
for real.
Like
boy who lives
I'm trying to
come to die.
I just cannot. That's an iconic line. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna hold that one. That is an iconic line. But like the fact, like I don't know. I feel weird about the villains who have beef with children. I'm like, ooh, grow up.
No, because it is kind of weird.
Grow up.
like,
You're beefing with a 14-year-old and he's whooping your butt.
Voldemort was just kind of boring to me. Like I was like, okay, you were obsessed with this kid. It's given fan behavior. Like I just
That's
need
what I
you
was
to like go.
But
do
see, and
something
I
with
kind
your
of
life.
liked it better in the books, though.
I
Like,
think
I liked him better.
he posed like a really good threat overall. Like he might not have been interesting, but the way like you could tell people was fearing him. Yeah, like people saying like he shall not who be like
That
like
is
it
kinda
ain't
like,
never
ooh.
that deep. Like if you
It's
don't
really
say
like,
his
don't say
name,
his name.
like if you don't say his name and keep it pushing, like the fact that only like what 2 people, who was it? It was Harry and didn't Dumbledore say his name? Weren't they like the only 2 to ever be like Voldemort, and everybody else used to be staring at them like this? I'd be like, it ain't never that deep. Like, come get your ones.
I forget the actor's name, who plays Voldemort, but he did a great job. I love his like line reading of the spells and stuff like that. Like when he says Avada Kedavra, like it sounds great. He's like, Avada Kedavra. Like it's nothing to him. Like it's nothing to him.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, yeah, but that's a good
Yeah, a
one.
lot of these like villain actors,
They
like
do a
good
play,
job.
Yeah, they play it really well. We haven't talked about Thanos,
Okay.
really.
Well, not the snaps. I don't know. I feel weird about it
Thanos.
because
Why did I say Thanos?
I was gonna let you have it.
Yeah, I
Keep it
thought about
pushing.
that too. I was like, let me let it slide.
No, because I
Y'all
said it and then I was
stupid.
like, wait, that sounded weird.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it now in recent years with a whole bunch of people being like, he was right. He was right. It makes it kind of weird, and that's why I stray away
I
from
just
that.
feel
'cause I'm
like if your first idea to solve world problems is genocide, you're probably
yeah,
not
something's
correct.
not
You're probably
right. Something's
incorrect.
not right.
Yeah, I will say like I liked him like watching it because I was
He's
like,
a fun villain. Yeah.
like, whoa, that was crazy. But also like,
I also
like
was
it.
like cheering my ass off when they was beating his ass.
That's what I'm
Right.
saying. I think
Yeah.
he
So
just
excited.
poses a good threat, and maybe that's the best part of a villain. It's like when they pose a threat that is so big that
Yeah,
you're
like the
eventually like
threat-
rooting for the
Yeah.
hero to win.
'cause
Maybe
the
that's
when
what
the
it
threat
is.
feels real. 'Cause a lot of
Right.
times
He threw a
it
moon at
doesn't.
them. Like he was
Like
literally-
he was not
Yeah,
playing.
no,
That's what I'm
literally.
saying. When he rewound, like when he did that
Yeah.
time thing, and after one had killed Vincent, it was like rewind that real quick. I was like, oh,
Yeah, I hate
That
that
was
the, like the threat
crazy.
is just not that high. Like it's not
Yeah,
that
it's like,
serious.
No, the
yeah.
stakes were high.
The
It's
stakes
like
were
save half
high.
of the universe.
Yes.
and lose, and they
No,
lost,
literally.
And lost.
and they
Yeah.
lost. Something
When
about
I
that is
love
so
when they
good.
lose. I love when the hero loses and then has to like try again. You know.
That
Where
was
did that
really
lead
good.
you? Back to me.
That's true. The one-liners he had.
He has
was
some good-ass
so
one-liners.
good. What did he say? Oh, I can't
When
even
Wanda
remember.
came up to him and she was just like, "You took everything."
He's
from
like,
me.
I don't even know you. I was
But then
like,
she came
Wanda.
back and she said, "You will." And
I was like, Wanda was eating. Wanda was eating in that movie
Talk
because
about
she was
Wanda,
mad.
because I guess now, as of right now, she is
She
a
is
villain.
kind of a villain, yeah.
She's
Well, and
iconic.
she's
She's
so
amazing.
iconic,
She's
yeah.
wonderful.
Madness,
She's
yeah.
the best.
Man,
of the
she's
best.
one of the best. And something that just came to my mind. She's one of the best, I think, women villains we've ever had. Cause
Oh, for
like,
sure. Because the
you
bar.
see how all
the
the
bar
names we
is
done mentioned.
low.
That's what I'm saying. The half the times when there's a woman villain, like even though hers was, like give me back my imaginary children, something about the woman villains is always like society or something like, and it makes sense. But like when you see the other like men villains and they're just bad for no reason, we need a woman villain that's bad for no reason.
Yeah, because like it does kind of suck that we still just have to be like, oh, it's about her family, which I love.
I love it too. It works with the story.
But that's why I like
WandaVision
more than like her arc in WandaVision more than in Multiverse of Madness, because like what she was doing wrong shit, like kidnapping the whole ass town,
that was crazy.
Making them go a little whoop 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 whoop. That was bad. But like I understand her delusion. Like I see the natural progression. Like she lost everything. She just wanted it back. She didn't really know that that's what was happening. But then in Multiverse of Madness, it's like, I get she has the dark hold and she's being corrupted and all that, but I'm like, girl, like, this is the only way you thought to get your kids back? Just go on Tinder or something. Like,
you're so stupid.
Like, this is not the way.
That's why I like what WandaVision did to build up to Multiverse of Madness. Like, it kind of, like, displays, because, like, Wanda was tripping in WandaVision. I'd argue that Wanda was the antagonist in WandaVision.
I mean, I don't even think you have to really.
I think that. She was the antagonist. Well, because Agatha's there, but like she's
kind
of
just
like.
Yeah, but like
Agatha,
she was just there.
Like,
she was just vibing.
But she definitely was tripping. So when you actually saw her be like the villain in this movie, it kind of just like it made sense because it was like, oh yeah, like we saw you. We saw what you was doing in 4K.
I saw a tweet that was just like, imagine me killing a child, because I lost my save progress in Sims. And that's essentially what Wanda did.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Like,
Wanda was tripping, but like another one, and I think this is gonna lead to a debate. Do y'all think Killmonger is a villain?
Yes.
You do.
I mean, once you start killing folks, I think you've officially entered villain territory.
I feel
even if you're doing it for good reasons.
He's not like on the level of like some of the other villains, but like
he was out there murdering his own people.
That's true. I don't know the way people be defending, like it is crazy. And like these recent years to see the battle versus like who was right, Killmonger, Black Panther, like it is crazy because the amount of debates I done seen on whether Killmonger was right or not is hilarious.
I see where they're coming from. I see where Killmonger's coming from, and like you have all these resources here in Wakanda, and you're like kind of hoarding the wealth while Black people around the world are suffering.
Slavery,
But like the way he went about it, he was essentially did the Scar thing, where it's like, no, if I'm in charge, I'll make it better. But he got in charge and made it worse, right? Like he's very similar in that way, where he's like, look at all these people suffering. Why don't you help them? And it's like, okay, why don't you help them? He's like,
like
I don't know about all
so crazy to see the debates about it now. That's why I'm like,
yeah. But then T'Challa did the right thing in the end. Was like, I'm gonna donate a Starbucks to Oakland or something like that. I forgot what he did.
He made schools.
Not a Starbucks.
Yeah, because that's well, they did say at the end they were hoping the Starbucks would come to Wakanda. I think that might be what you're referencing. When he opened up Wakanda to the world, he was like, they were like, I thought you meant Starbucks, not this. Yeah, because they were allowing everybody in.
I just remember a good female villain is Maleficent.
Okay.
She also had beef with a child though. Like,
well, it depends. It depends on which one you're talking. I think the one with Angelina Jolie.
The one with Angelina.
She's not the villain.
Watch that one.
She's not the villain. I just thought about that because the whole reason why she was acting like that is because that man pretended to be in love with her and then stole her wings. That was the only reason she did that.
I never saw Maleficent.
You never saw Maleficent?
It's a pretty good movie.
I love that movie.
I don't know if it does what the Joker did. Like, I don't know if it like tried to justify. I think it's really two different stories.
Her backstory,
but it feels like two different stories though, because the ending isn't the same either in Maleficent and then versus the Sleeping Beauty. I feel like in Maleficent anyway, her whole reason of like she was protecting the forest. She was a forest like fairy, was protecting the forest. That man came in there for no reason, or like the only way he could be a king was if he got her wings, pretended to fall in love with her, and then tied her up in chains and cut off her wings and left her there. And when she woke up, they were gone. And then that's the reason why she was like, and then that's the reason why she was like, I got your tea. Let me come back in another like 8 months when that little girl is born. I got your tea. And then but even then at the end, she fell in love with the woman, like, like, oh, that's my daughter for real. Like they were so cute together, that dynamic. And then she felt bad for cursing her And then she...
my bad, Gia. Like,
it was never that deep.
You.
But she was the one that woke her up in that version, too. Because the whole True Love's Kiss, she loved her, so she woke her up.
That's cute.
Yeah.
I just know in the cartoon, it was just like, I fucking hate this child. When you turn 16, I'm gonna fuck your life up.
Like, something about those are so funny. When the beef is with a child, it is hilarious. Like, you almost can't even take it serious.
A lot of those old Disney movies now.
Yeah, old people are the villains. Adults are the villains.
Because they really be hating these 16-year-old
16,
girls. Like,
14. I'm like, it was never that deep. Like, whoa.
Another iconic female villain that I love is from the Chronicles of Narnia. The witch. I forget.
The
Snow Queen. Snow Queen.
I think she was a witch.
I love her.
She was the queen.
It was the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Yeah, but
she was a queen, wasn't she?
She was.
She was the queen. Yeah.
The Snow Witch.
Come on.
Anyways.
The White Witch is what it
White
says.
Witch.
White
That
Witch.
might have been what it was.
She was eating it.
She was crazy.
She was
When she killed that lion and was like, just like in front of the kids, I was like, oh my god.
I love Narnia.
Narnia's a great movie.
She killed that.
There's so many like iconic lines. What did he say? He was like, "Don't recite the great lines to me, witch."
I was there when it was written.
Another like, I love the dynamic between like him, the lion, and the witch. Like that's a really good one. Not the wardrobe too. Yeah. Despite it not doing nothing but letting them in.
I think they just needed a third thing. They're like, okay, we got a lion, we got a witch, and
it worked.
And a wardrobe.
Does anyone actually use the term wardrobe?
Well, I think it depends.
Maybe in like 1920s.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah, British people.
Yeah, maybe.
If you're British, comment down below. Do you say wardrobe?
Wasn't that happening in like World War II?
Yeah, they were like.
So like, that was a whole other time. Yeah.
Me wardrobe.
Me wardrobe. Yeah. Oh,
Come on,
she's
so
the lion and the witch. Yeah.
Me wardrobe.
I'm sorry.
Guys, 2% of our listeners are British. We can't.
Not the 2%.
Sorry, guys.
Oh, that's
we love
true.
you. Thanks for supporting.
I'm sorry.
What about
Didn't mean it.
shoot.
Say the
Percy
movie.
Jackson. What's
That's complicated. Ooh, I can get into this.
because I need y'all to explain this
Because okay, we're not talking about the movies because I don't really give a damn about them. But in the books, the antagonist is Luke, right? And he's one of the other campers who has been kind of corrupted by Kronos, who is like this Titan overlord person. And so he loses Luke as like what?
I was thinking about a TikTok. I'll explain it later.
He uses Luke as like his vessel for his like evil infiltrating the camp and fucking with Percy and all that stuff. So Luke does some messed up stuff throughout the series, but he kind of redeems himself in the end and like I think he's branded as like the hero by the end of it because they're all like, yeah, even though he killed a lot of us, he still sacrificed himself. And I don't want to talk too much because I know there's some people who haven't read it and the show's coming out and I'm
so excited for the show. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for the show.
Did you see
dang it.
Speaking of villains that we have crush on, your boy, Mr. Wings.
He is not the villain. He is
Namor?
not the villain.
From
He is
Wakanda
not
Forever.
the villain. He is not the
Bruh,
villain.
Yes, he is.
You know what is so funny? When we be, and this ain't even me having a crush on him, but like, this is like the whole like, y'all
if
are
you didn't
tripping.
hear who we're talking about, it's this Namor from
Y'all
Wakanda
are
Forever.
tripping because like, even though he was on Demon Energy too, y'all can't act like Wakanda didn't handle that in the worst way possible. Like everybody was messing that whole movie up.
Wait,
He said no.
They didn't handle it bad.
He literally said he was like, "Do not play with me," and they thought he was joking. He told them the first thing he told them, he was just like, "I got more soldiers than y'all have plains of grass," and they were in Africa. That's what he said to them.
Bruh.
If they were like, if their first reaction was like, you know what? Even though Shuri said she was going on her own, Gria literally said she went on her own, and then she was like, "Well, just bring him here and go in and kill them people, and we gonna get her back." If they weren't thinking that he wasn't gonna come back and retaliate,
okay, but
like,
you have
that's
to
Wait, but
understand-
think about how
problem.
they got in that situation. They got in that situation because
'Cause
he
he
wanted
wanted
them
to
to
kill
kill
the
that little
science.
girl.
Yeah.
How was that their fault? They were like, let's go save this little girl, and he kidnapped them.
But even if
How are you defending
all
that?
they had to do was not go. All Nakia
but
and
think
the
about-
Queen had to
Now,
do was
think
not
about
go
so
down
how-
there and
he
kill them.
kidnapped
Okay,
them and
okay,
held
okay,
them
wait.
hostage, though.
Think about where Ramonda is coming from. She literally just lost her son,
And I
and
get
now her
that.
daughter is
And I
gone,
get
and
that.
she immediately is like, okay, I need to get
I
this
just
girl
think
back.
everybody handled that situation worse because, like, if your first thought,
But who
listen,
kidnapped who first after trying
and
to
I
kill a
get that,
child?
and I get that though. But if I was in that position, right, and this man had just told me, he was like, "Keep playing with me, and I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna blow this place up." If somebody was like, "Keep playing with me," the first time you meet them, they're like, "Keep playing with me, I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna kill you," and then they just walk away.
I'd be like, damn, that's some villain energy right there.
Yeah, indeed.
But then,
Tell
and
me-
then even then, what?
Would you be supporting this man if the actor was not the actor that he is?
I think so because, like I
Really?
said,
Really?
everybody was wrong. I
They-
think
I think he
everybody
was
was
certainly
wrong.
They
the
literally did
wrongest.
nothing. He pulled up in their crib and said, "Oh yeah, that resource you got, people are looking for it in my crib. So
Yeah.
now,
His whole
if y'all
thing
don't help
was
me, I'm gonna
defending
kill all y'all."
Talo Khan. That was the whole
And I get
point
his
that
motivation. He just went way too far.
He
like,
might have
do
went
it.
too
He
far,
went
and I get that.
Way too far.
He's
And I get that.
unhinged.
He might have went too far, but if your whole thing is like,
Look, I have a
my
crush on
people
him,
had
too.
to
I get it.
move. My people had to move from colonization. They was
Right.
killing us. We had to move. Talo Khan won't move again. He was just trying to protect
Oh yeah,
his
because
people.
black people didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
My bad, I forgot.
They did. They did.
And this is
so
when we talk about
in that
POC
case,
solidarity.
I know.
And in that
he shouldn't
case-
have been beefing at all.
and in that case, then
The real villain was the white man. All
honestly,
Exactly.
the
Except
whole,
for Everett.
the whole
he-
the whole thing
he's a
is
good
like
one.
colonization is like, yeah, this is
Mhm.
all y'all fault.
But you see how Namor's solution to this colonization
they
was,
should have left them alone.
let me colonize Wakanda.
He wasn't going to. They should have left him alone.
He literally
That-
said,
that-
if y'all
that
don't side with
scientist
me,
would've been alright.
I'm going to pull up to your crib
no,
and make you do
no,
it.
she wouldn't have. They were gonna kill her.
Sometimes it is what it is.
Not
Because
it is
if
what-
I was,
I
if
thought you had
was
a problem with
ruler,
people beefing with children.
I do, but if I was a ruler,
except for when it comes
if
to
I
him.
was a ruler and I was like, these people are getting too close, I'm not gonna let them sit over here and play
So I'm
with
going to
my
kill this
folks.
black girl instead.
White, black,
The white people were coming
Purple,
for him, so
blue.
his solution was to kill a black girl.
but he was killing the white people too.
He did kill the white people too.
He did. Everybody was getting it. So in that case, it wasn't even like it was a racist thing. It was a real thing.
The
That's all
loopholes
I'm
you are
saying.
jumping through.
That's all I'm saying. If I was the ruler over a nation and I was like, these people really playing with me, I got you. Let that be the end of that sentence. I told you the first time round, stop playing with me. Told you the second time round, stop playing with me. You can boo me all you want to. You can boo me all you want to. But it is what it is. It is what
Ooh,
it is.
anyway.
Anywho,
That's what it is.
Another
Jay is racist. We're gonna move on.
yeah. More
Sorry.
recent. Come on. What is your favorite? Who's your favorite villain?
Oh, yeah.
What you supposed to be thinking of this whole entire time that you've been
Yeah,
back
sure,
there?
I was.
Okay, he
Well,
lying.
I got different ones. Star Wars, it's probably Darth Maul.
Mm.
I really like Darth
That
Maul.
is.
He's the red one with the
Oh
spiky head
yeah.
and
The,
the double,
with the two.
the double bladed.
I still don't know who that is.
Why did you say oh then?
I actually met the
I
actor
wanted
that
to
played
say-
him in a
Oh.
New York Comic
I've
Con.
met a villain.
Y'all getting on my nerves.
We all have.
Okay. Anyway,
It's a little wacky in the studio
Um,
today.
I do like Batman villains. Joker sometimes is my favorite,
Mm.
but recently not as much because he's been oversaturated.
Yeah, too much Joker.
I do like Calendar Man.
Calendar Man. Who's that?
Yeah, exactly.
What's his power?
Nothing exactly.
His powers is he's crazy, like most of Batman's villains.
Why is he?
Why is he called Calendar Man?
I don't know. He is obsessed with holidays. All his crimes are holiday related.
That's kind of
Dang.
cute.
Like,
Nothing cute,
but to see the reason I
y'all.
like him is because like you almost never see him outside of jail. He's always already locked up. So I'm like, what did this man
Free my
do
man. Free my man.
that they will not let him? Joker break out every Thursday.
That is
Truly,
Calendar Man do not get out.
truly, Joker
What
be
did he do?
in jail and then get out the nets knowing. I'm like, oh, y'all not being for real. Y'all not being for real. Because if you was for real, one of them cops would have put that pistol
If
and
he
kept
was-
it pushing.
I
He
like
was
the Riddler.
Oh, the Riddler's
I do
fun.
like
Yeah,
this-
I like the Riddler. Did you see the Batman?
Yeah.
I do like the Riddler. I like him in the comics more than in the most recent movie.
Mm.
But I,
think
still
I
liked
remember
him in the
from
movie.
games. What game was that? Arkham Knights?
Arkham.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe he was
Yeah.
tripping.
He was in all the Arkham ones.
Which I don't know which one I'm thinking about. Then Come
He would,
back
like,
to me.
leave
And then
the-
any other X-Men villains, I like them all.
Ooh, I
Ooh,
forgot to mention
Magneto. We
them.
didn't talk about Magneto.
Magneto,
Damn it.
Juggernaut, Sabretooth.
Juggernaut, yeah,
What?
Sabretooth is
What's
great.
my favorite
X-Men
X-Men
is so
villain?
good.
X-Men is great.
I can't wait to
They
see
are better
them.
than the Avengers.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
fully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
ain't
I
nobody
love
was
the
gonna
X-Men.
attack you for that. You right.
Ooh, I might have to go rewatch X-Men Evolution.
I
I
wanna
might have
rewatch
to do
X-Men.
that.
That's the first thing I watched when I got Disney Plus.
X-Men
When it came
Evolution.
out,
Mm.
yeah.
Oh, that show's so good.
Mm.
Love X-Men. Who else? I feel like there's so many villains and I can't think of
Guys, there's
anything.
just
funny.
too many.
I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna get out of here and be
Many.
like, it was someone I forgot.
Yeah. We talked a lot about superhero villains.
We did. I think that's like the easiest thing to think
I was
of
about to
when
say, can you have a villain and it not be?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
Pride and Prejudice had Darcy.
Well, does that
What?
count as a villain?
I think so.
Arr.
See, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm going back to. There's the
Arr.
antagonist and then there's the villain.
Yeah.
Hey,
Mhm.
didn't he like sell Homegirl's sister?
Probably.
Ooh.
Just to
hasn't?
be like, hey, I love
I was
you,
about to say
and to prove I loved you, I
1840s.
sold your sister.
1840s.
That sound like
Whatever.
that sound
Whatever
like
time period that
Black
was.
Air Force activity to me.
What time
You
period?
know who?
did
Some
Pride
of
and
my
Prejudice
least favorite
come out?
villains were on the Flash TV show.
Oh yeah, they have some
Mm.
ass villains. I feel like
Besides
season
Zoom,
3.
I liked Zoom. Zoom was
Wasn't
cool.
it like
Gorilla Grodd. I like Gorilla
Really
Grodd.
gross as fuck.
I don't mind. Every time they had him on, I was like, oh, not the gorilla.
Not the gorilla again.
audacity?
I'm not like those episodes.
You stupid.
Like, Nacho getting beat up by a gorilla.
Didn't they have a villain of that? Just that man
You
who sat in a
stupid.
chair, and that's all he did is sit in a chair and think.
The Thinker.
Yeah,
The
I hated that.
No, yeah,
actually.
see, the best
I
one
don't
is
remember the
Zoom,
villains.
Reverse
Zoom is good.
Flash,
Reverse
a little
Flash
bit, but
is
they started
great.
making it so confusing. But
Reverse Flash when it's Tom Cavanaugh.
Kavanaugh.
Yeah.
Kavanaugh.
yeah,
Yeah.
he can play a good villain.
Mhm.
He's killing it.
What
Yeah.
was I just about to say?
Yeah.
Y'all were talking about
The Flash.
Oh snap! I was gonna say, Spider-Man. I love the first trilogy. That Green Goblin,
Oh,
amazing.
and his performance in No Way Home.
When he figured out that Spider-Man, that was another guy who was like, when he realized. But this was the first time, like, I think I saw like a grown man realize he was beefing with the kid when he noticed like the cut on Toby's arm. He looked and he was like, oh my God. He was like, I've been beefing with a child. Like, my child's best friend, mind you. Like, something about that is just
It's a
so
little embarrassing. Like,
funny.
imagine like you're going toe to toe with this person, and it's like, oh,
beating you up.
they
beating you
they
up.
came from like first period algebra to come whoop my ass. Like, that's embarrassing.
No, truly.
Something, but I love the way I love his portrayal of that.
Yeah.
I'm
Mhm.
hoping if
Jamie
Tom.
Foxx is Electra. Is the best villain ever.
I hope Tom, if he gets a Green Goblin, I hope it's as good
I'm
as
trying to think
that
of
one.
like his Tom Holland's villains.
What?
Birdman.
Vulture.
Vulture. And what was the
Birdman.
second one?
Birdman. I mean, Michael
Jake
Keaton did
Gyllenhaal.
play a character named Birdman.
Yeah. Jake Gyllenhaal.
Mysterio.
Mysterio. That's what I like. The
Jake Gyllenhaal
threat
as
that
himself.
Mysterio
Yes.
posed
Jake Gyllenhaal
as
is Jake-
in the second Spider-Man movie, because I feel like it was kind of it's not like the threat was more mental, like his whole thing of like, oh,
It was him.
I'm gonna
being
mess with your
like-
mind.
Yeah, because when he had them
I
fucking
like when they mess
projectors
with
and
your
stuff.
mind.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Them
That feels
good
kind of bad to
villains,
say.
No,
But
it's
like
fun.
it is though, it's fun because it's
Mhm.
not just like physical power. It's
Yeah.
like, I'm getting in there.
What was it where he was getting ready to fight in that fog and he couldn't see nothing and he was relying solely on those spider senses? I was like, oh, that kind of eats actually.
I like Far From Home.
And then with No Way Home, like immediately following after, and Mysterio be like, "Got your tea. This is who it is." Something about that is so like I love.
Spider-Man is Peter Parker.
I
That's a
love
slay.
when the villains who die are still getting their ones in,
Mhm.
even though like they're already dead. It's like, I got you.
I got something for
I
you.
got you. I got you.
something
You
for
can kill me all you
you.
want to, but let me spin that block. Let me spin that block. It's so
You know,
funny.
We
to
didn't
me.
talk about like horror movie villains, like
Oh, that's
Jason,
true. See,
Michael
the thing about them,
Myers,
like,
Freddy Krueger.
Those serial killers just be. Something about it just.
What a controversial opinion.
Cause I think
liking them.
I don't know, cause like they don't die.
Freaking Bates Motel. What's his
No,
name?
what did I
What's
tell
his name?
y'all?
What's his name?
Norman.
Norman?
What did I
He's
tell
the most
y'all?
evil, crazy, messed up man ever. That man is.
Yeah.
I've never seen Bates Motel.
Well, you know, originally he's from like
Psycho.
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 Psycho, my bad.
Mm.
But like Bates Motel is like the story.
How did I end up watching that movie?
Bates Motel is the
thought it was a
craziest
series.
show I've ever seen
There's
in
a
my
series
entire
and then
life.
there's
It's
the
a
movie.
series. That
I
show
saw
is
both,
crazy,
and I don't remember
he
how.
is crazy. Stuffing people.
Yep.
With
Stuffing.
No, like taxidermy.
Yeah. Like I said, we're staying away from that. I don't want to talk about nothing cannibal. I didn't want to talk about nothing
He wasn't
weird.
eating people,
I
was
know,
he?
but I don't want to talk about anything among the lights of that.
That would be Hannibal.
Yeah, Hannibal, him, everybody, all them folks.
I mean, those are like
those are villains. Like
though.
when it's just purely they're a killing machine. That's what I like about like kind of the slasher horror movies. It's like it's literally like Michael Myers was literally just slashing people for no
reason. He's just like dead.
Freddy, he was like, in your dreams, bitch. In your dreams, I'ma get you.
Is Freddy
Nah,
the one with the
but
sweater?
Freddy's another one that was beefing with kids.
That's
That's
what I'm
true,
saying.
yeah.
Stop
I feel
beefing
like most
with
of them
Why
were
is it
beefing
always
with
teenagers?
kids.
Like,
Yeah.
y'all are
Stranger
weird.
Well,
Things.
I think
Stranger
the like
Things.
story's supposed to be like it was revenge on the parents or something.
Yeah.
But why was the beef with the kids? That's my whole thing. Leave them
That's
children
weird.
alone. Boo, boo, boo.
Adults would have whooped his ass.
That's true. They know they can win against the kids.
Stranger Things. I'm
yeah.
like, you need to go after the adults.
Weird
why are you
girl.
going? Yeah, why are you going after
Creeper?
children?
That's weird.
That's Creeper.
No, I was calling him a creeper.
Oh, that's another movie.
I mean, no,
What's
there is
Creeper?
the creeper from Jeepers Creepers.
Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah,
I've
Stranger
never
Things.
seen that.
I actually enjoyed the villain. The season 4 villain.
Season
of
4
Stranger
villain of
Things.
Stranger Things
Number
is really
1.
good. Vecna.
Vecna?
Vecna, yeah, because that was a little bit
I thought you were
crazy.
talking about like the Demogorgon.
I was like, Demogorgon is just a
They
man.
don't really have like a personality.
Well, I mean, no, it's him, number 1.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
he
number
like
one is the
Vecna
villain.
controls all of
Yeah.
that. So,
So
it's like
he-
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, you ain't watch?
I didn't watch it, no.
Well, it's been a year.
Yeah, I mean, I don't.
I mean, it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure you know.
I'm on season 3.
You're on
Oop.
season.
Well,
no, I'm joking. I'm not joking. I am on season 3, but I already know what happens.
oh, okay, but yeah, I like how even though he was beefing with children.
Anime villains we can talk about?
Is Sasuke a villain?
I don't think so.
I don't know. I don't remember Naruto.
I don't
It was a long
watch it.
time ago.
Yeah. Okay, let's skip over that because obviously nobody has anything to talk about.
All the anime listeners are gonna hate us.
So sorry.
Sorry, guys.
I mean, there's All for One, and he's from this one. No, One for All. One for All. Oop, sorry. One for All.
Ooh, tomato.
It's crazy. Yeah, that show and its villains. My Hero has some really crazy villains actually that I'm thinking about now. A lot of them are like I like the reason why they're like it's essentially like you're making these people train up to fight to be heroes, and in doing so they're also making the villains because everybody who is like the villain in My Hero has been like treated wrongly by either society or the hero people or whatever. So their whole thing is
That sounds
like
good, actually.
we actually don't need any heroes because you're making the villains too. Essentially, is what the question is posing.
tea.
It is, but like they are teenagers, but they also beefing with children too, and then that's when it starts to get crazy. But
Again.
like the only reason why they're beefing with kids is because the hero people are saying, "Bring them kids out there real quick." Like they're literally in school to learn how to become heroes, and they're like, your first thing of training, you're finna go to this club, and there's gonna be a villain waiting on you at the door.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like
That's
that's
kind of like, have
literally
you
it.
seen Young Justice?
Yeah.
How Batman would just come in that show every episode be like, y'all, I need you're 14, 15, 16, I need you to go out to a swamp in Bolivia and
And get
kill
him.
this man, please.
Like that's literally, and like that was the whole
As
point
he
of the
should.
show.
No, whatever.
I was about to
Go
say,
to class. Like,
like literally, like their
get your
whole
driver's
thing-
license. Like, there's
They
other
wouldn't
things
even
you
like,
can
and
do.
like that's the
They
whole
didn't need driver's
thing.
license. They were driving the Justice League jet.
I feel
driver's
like you need a
license.
license to drive
They
a jet.
need to be children, and that's
Half of them could fly.
Yeah, it's true.
would I fly? If I could fly, would I be driving still? Probably not. I don't
mean,
know
would you?
though.
What I've heard is that flying is like, would you run everywhere just because you can run?
No.
Like,
But
it's still,
flying
it's still
is-
physically exerting.
Well, still, but you would have less traffic because you'd be flying. This ain't the point of the story. This ain't the point of this episode.
Well, would it be like my wings or like a jet or something?
Like,
What if you could just fly?
So like
you-
me, myself,
Yeah.
I could
Like
fly.
Superman fly.
Yeah, that probably would exhaust you, right?
But like, I wouldn't have to deal with traffic. Like if I had super speed,
I get,
I'd
like-
run everywhere. I don't
Yeah,
care.
Yeah. I get like opposed to like driving and shit like
Yeah.
that, but like just go walking down the street, I wouldn't
just walk.
fly. I would just walk.
It depends on like the distance. Oh, okay. No. But Yeah, let's be quiet. We're just talking now. But yeah, I like the villains in My Hero. I think they're relatable. Like one of the villains, Dobby, he's one of the most famous ones. His whole thing about being a villain is like his dad was pressuring him so that way he could become the #1 hero, and he ended up like burning himself bad. And his dad finally got the kid he wanted, who had the powers that he wanted, and he left Dobby alone. And then Dobby came back and he was like, "I'm gonna get my one with you, Dad. Let's fight." And they have beef. It's like a good dynamic of like, I guess they're dynamic, but you still don't want to like root for them in the way still though, because like they are beefing with children. They're killing children too, mind you. Yeah, them villains don't play. They kill people.
Yeah.
So I mean that's
I
pretty
think
good.
the moral of today's episode is
Stop
beefing with children.
Well, speaking of beefing with children, what about all the adults in Codename Kids Next Door?
It's still
Were they fighting adults in that show?
half the
Yeah.
time the villain
The
would be an
villains would just be
adult.
adults.
I mean, I feel like
And
that's
then like
most.
the teenagers were like the transition villain.
Yes.
Yeah.
They were the main villains, like the teenagers, but like even then they wouldn't be beefing with each other that bad. It would be like with the adults, they'd be like there would be a fight or something. I'm like, what's going on?
I feel like most of the kids shows it was like adults, and again, because they're trying to put that
kinda
in your
reminds me
brain.
of what was the Powerpuff Girls? The like
The monkey,
Oh,
Mojo
Mojo
Jojo.
Jojo?
I don't know if he was an
No.
adult.
Yo,
What was that
Powerpuff
big red
Girls
thing?
rocked his
They used to
mess,
be-
bro.
Oh, yeah, the
Beaten.
demon. Yeah, I forget what
Oh, him.
his name
Yeah.
was.
I love him.
He's kind of a slay though.
No,
like,
for
I
real.
love him.
They
Like,
used
for
to be
real.
beating Mojo Jojo up, and then they'd be like, "This is crazy." No, that was
Bro, when
That
they
one
broke in,
meme
when they
was
broke into the
superb.
jail
Oh,
and beat the mess
Just
out
to
of him for
beat
that
her
candy.
up.
Oh,
beat him
We didn't
Doofenshmirtz.
talk about Doofenshmirtz.
Doofenshmirtz, I love him. He's
Is he,
actually
is he
hilarious.
really a villain though,
He's not a
or is he
villain.
just a father
Most of
trying to
his
impress his
inventions.
daughter?
oh,
of
so
his-
now he's just the father trying to impress his daughter.
He is.
Most of-
all
most
his
of-
attacks were never nefarious.
Yeah, most of his inventions were just like, I just want
They're like
I just
silly,
want my
goofy
life to be
mood.
easier. And Perry the Platypus was like,
Exactly. Perry
Right now
was
she's
just
getting
rocking
beat
his
up by a
mess.
platypus. I love him though.
Those
like,
seems to be
he had
so
the worst
funny.
when you said
childhood.
Phineas and Ferb, I really thought you meant Candace, and I was like, damn. I was like,
Oh my
No,
god!
I love Doofenshmirtz.
I love when Perry would just be like,
Dan
"Let's get it
Povenmire, you
in."
hear that? You know, we could use some promotion. If
"Oh
you
yeah,
see
for
our
the
TikTok,
new series."
Please, we love Phineas
at
and
love
Dan
Ferb.
Povenmire in the
Dans.
comments.
we
I
love
love
Dan.
I love Phineas and
I
Ferb.
do too.
That
I
show is so
I think about
good.
Balloony all the time.
There's no new seasons
love
coming
the
out
movie.
on Disney Plus.
There's
No,
new
they're
seasons?
yeah, they're
Yeah,
making a
there
new
is.
one.
No way.
You didn't know they're making two
Two
new
new
seasons.
seasons.
I think the original
Are
cast
they
is coming back
Are
too.
they still like the same age?
I mean,
No.
I don't know.
That'd be weird because
Will
it
it
finished
still
with
be
them being
summer?
like 16. No, they were going to college.
But that was like an epilogue, so they can still go back
Yeah.
into like when they were kids.
I
I prefer
don't
that. I don't know if I
know.
want to see them as college
I
kids.
don't know. I'm
to be
kind of tired of
honest.
seeing like this summer's been like a million years long.
There's 104 days of summer vacation.
The
School comes along
just to end it.
So
So
the
your
annual
problem
problem
For our generation is finding a good way to spend it.
Bye,
Oh.
baby.
Okay. Anyways,
I love Phineas and Ferb. Oh my god.
thank you guys for listening. Anyone have any final villain comments?
I'm
Who's the
kinda
villain that you meant? Sorry.
After I said that, I realized I was like, well, they weren't really villains.
Who?
I met. They actually were not villains. I met Robbie and Mel.
Oh no, he's no.
Well, his like like Firestorm or whatever. Like
Firestorm was not a villain.
I know. But, like,
What
he
is this from?
Like
From the Flash.
Flash.
that's why I
Oh.
said I was like they weren't villains. And I met what's his name? I forgot what his name is, but he plays Eddie on the Flash.
I don't know what his name is.
Oh,
but
the blonde man.
Yeah.
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 Am I thinking?
Yeah, he was
Was there
kind
a
of
villain in Pretty Little Liars?
I didn't watch.
A.
I like mystery villains. I'm not gonna lie. We're
Oh, like who is the villain?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kinda
Which
like-
one's that?
was Gossip Girl the villain? I think she was.
I mean,
She was exposing people in
spilling tea, right?
Spoiler
daytime.
alert!
It's Dan,
It's Dan.
and he is the villain of that show. Actually,
He
Dan's
was
kind of
an
the worst.
absolute weirdo.
Not the absolute weirdo.
Not
Yeah,
not Povenmire. We're not talking about
No,
him anymore.
no, other Dan from
Other-
Gossip
Dan
Girl.
other
from
Dan.
Gossip Girl.
Y'all.
Yeah.
Anyways, thank you guys for
Logging
listening.
off.
If you have any villains that you're like, what the heck? How did you not mention this? Comment it down below.
We definitely forgot
and
somebody.
we will look at it. Thank you.
Ooh, not that we will look,
Look
at
at
it.
Thanks
Not
for listening,
respond.
guys. We will see you next week.
See y'all.
Bye.
Music cue. Dance.
Do we not actually have?
Oh, we don't. We don't have the music. I should just
Unqualified.
take it off.
Podcast.